This chapter marks a beautiful shift in David's life, from warrior to worshipper, from king to father. He can't build a temple himself because of bloodshed and war, but he pours his remaining years into preparing everything Solomon will need to complete it, right? So the first part of the chapter covers David prepares the building materials. After purchasing Ornan's threshing floor, where the plague ended, David declares, "This is the house of the Lord God, and this is the altar of burnt offering for Israel." So he gathers foreign craftsmen and orders huge quantities of supplies: iron for nails and fittings, bronze in vast amounts, cedar logs from Sidon and Tyre. David says, "My son Solomon is young and experienced, and the house to be built for the Lord must be exceedingly magnificent, famous and glorious throughout all lands." Though David cannot build a temple, he prepares as if it were his own hands doing it, giving Solomon the best possible start. The second part of the chapter covers David's charge to Solomon. David calls Solomon and gives him this personal and emotional command: "My son, I had it in my heart to build a house for the name of the Lord my God. But the word of the Lord came to me. You have shed much blood and have fought many wars. You shall not build a house for my name. But you will have a, a but you will have a son who will be a man of peace. I will give him rest from all his enemies." I did David's voice doing God's voice because David was talking about God to Solomon. Okay, so God promises that Solomon will build the temple and his reign will be one of peace. Okay, Solomon comes from shalom, meaning peace. David blesses Solomon. "May the Lord give you wisdom and understanding. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged." David's greatest victory isn't on a battlefield, it's passing the vision of worship and faith to the next generation. The third part of this chapter covers David commands Israel's leaders. Okay, David gathers the officials and says, with great pains, I have provided for the house of the Lord 100,000 talents of gold, 1,000,000 talents of silver, bronze, and iron beyond measure. That's thousands of tons of precious metals, symbolic of total devotion, okay? He tells them to help Solomon. Arise, arise and build the sanctuary of the Lord God, so that the ark of the covenant of the Lord may be brought in. The focus isn't on wealth or architecture, but on God's presence and dwelling on his people, okay? So what are key lessons from First Chronicles chapter 32? The first lesson is, even if you can't build, you can prepare. David couldn't build a temple, but his preparations made Solomon's success possible. Second lesson, peace follows obedience. Solomon's peaceful reign is God's reward for David's faithfulness and submission. Third lesson, legacy is more than achievement. David's greatest legacy is not a kingdom of conquest, but a heart for God passed to his son. Fourth lesson, strength and courage begins with purpose. David's final words echo God's call to Joshua: "Be strong and courageous," reminding Solomon that faith leads to strength. So in summary, the first Chronicles chapter 22, David dedicates his final years to preparing for the temple. He gathers vast materials, charges Solomon to build it, and exhorts Israel's leaders to support him. Though he can't construct it himself, David ensures that the foundation, materially and spiritually, is ready.